on one side of the equation, the statistics are showing that crime, including violent crime, have steadily been dropping for the last 20, 30 years, that the numbers are going down. But what we see in the media is an increase in the coverage of specific events that may give the impression of crime increasing. And perhaps there are some more serious crimes happening these days, looking at events like what happened in Ottawa and in Quebec. But when you guys sit in the room together, how much room is there to move on significantly changing the model from a police chief's point of view? As you said, you need a lot of partners, especially with something like mental health.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Well, the number one thing is 80% of what we do has nothing to do with crime, but 100% of it has to do with policing. So it's when we're called, when the phone quits ringing, we'll know there's no further demand for that. And we've had great systemic breakthroughs in engineering away types of crime. One would be check frauds, for instance, because nobody uses checks anymore, right? So we used to have welfare frauds and pension frauds because people steal under the mail, and that was all solved by direct deposit. But something comes to take its place. Now it's internet, high-tech type frauds, right? With that are offshore, organized crime, but have an impact locally in the community. So the demand for our service hasn't changed. And one of the things that I think is very important through the whole conversation around the future of policing, everyone is concerned about the cost of policing and the sustainability of the cost of policing, but no one has come up with anything they don't think we should be doing. And so mental health, if you didn't have police officers responding to mental health issues, you would have to have somebody who's competent and trained and equipped to deal with the crisis. And so that would be likely psychiatric nurses, likely to make the same money as police officers. You'd have to have the 24/7, 365 response capability, which would call up a pool of these people, because it's not just one a day. They could be several in the same hour. You'd have to have secure means of transporting the person. You'd have to have use of force options, because violence can sometimes be part of those scenarios. So that looks pretty much like something we already have in place, which is us. So everybody wants us to do what we're doing. The conversation has been very interesting to listen to. Everybody says, well, yeah, if we didn't do it, then we'd have to start a department or find new resources. So that's in place of what you already have. Or in addition to, not necessarily in place of, because most services are just making do with the capacity they have. So some of the ideas are bolting on civilians instead of additional police officers, but that's in addition to, that's not instead of, because ultimately you have to be able to deal with what the world dishes out. And police officers can do any civilian job, ultimately be trained to do it, but it doesn't reciprocate. Not every civilian can go respond to the riot downtown at Barclays. So that's what we have to be positioned for.